Good morning. It is 7:55 a.m. on Thursday, January 7th, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, yesterday was a hell of a day. Um, I don't know if I'm going to talk too much about it just because I'm not sure I've really processed everything about it fully yet. I mean, some things are obvious, like I was actually pretty pleased that um, Congress seemed so determined to go ahead and reconvene right away and get everything done overnight. So they actually did still, certify all of the the electoral votes were already certified, but, officially count them, enter them to the record, the whole thing that they're supposed to do. So that's good. That's probably the only good thing about yesterday. Um, uh, I think none of what happened yesterday surprised me really, except just the scale of the double standard from law enforcement. Just like it highlighting so dramatically the difference in their response between what happened yesterday and, say, a Black Lives Matter march. The 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 differences in their responses between those two things, like the idea that, like, oh, how could we have known that we needed to be prepared, like, that's BS. Trump has been announcing for weeks that he wanted people to come. He has been using the same kind of incendiary language all along. I was worried in advance about this day for exactly this reason. So the idea that the Capitol Police, of all people, oh, how could we know? How could we know there would be so many? It's like, what are you talking about? That's your exact job. Not to mention all the reports that, of police that really just kind of stood aside and let them in. Or did not, just like, oh, well, we just have to let them do whatever. We don't want to escalate the violence. It's like, okay, well, only when it's these people you don't want to escalate the violence. Um, I saw a tweet yesterday that was saying, why is everybody wondering why the police aren't stopping these insurrectionists? Do you also wonder where Miley Cyrus is when Hannah Montana's on stage? Which, in case you are unaware of the reference, Hannah Montana is a Disney show where Miley Cyrus was played someone who was that same character was someone who was a big famous music star and also had an alternate identity where they went to a normal school. And so just, yeah. Uh, so yeah, all that's pretty awful. I mean, obviously I don't think every single individual of the Capitol Police is at fault there. I mean, some of them obviously were doing a really hard job, but it's like enough of them were letting it all happen apparently, and there's such a failure of leadership to not be better prepared for all of that that it's pretty awful. And so, like, on top of anything else, like, I feel like we really need to see some consequences from that, because this is a profound national security failure. And even if we want to try to say that it's all the fault of the Capitol Police, which is probably not true, like, just in terms of, I'm not even getting into the fact that of who incited this whole thing. I'm just saying, like, in terms of, preventing everyone from getting that far. Um, like, if our Capitol building, where Congress happens, is not better prepared for this sort of thing, like, doesn't that seem like a problem? Ugh. Well, and then of course the whole thing is that it's not that it wasn't better prepared, it's that it's only better prepared for certain types of people. So, yeah, I guess I did talk the whole time about it. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of fallout from yesterday. We'll see how all that goes. But, yeah. So, anyway, I guess I'll talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.